Yes, my people, we're back with another one. So again, a student took a trade, and we're just gonna go over it for it. So it was an NQ trade. He was looking for shorts in the New York session, and if I just zoom into this, we can see we had the MSB, we had a flip, confirmed flip, and then he was just essentially looking for a trade within this price action, and obviously price continued lower. He got stopped out, potential in a lower time frame, but price delivered in terms of what he was looking for. And then we go down to a lower time frame, we can see how he waited for the confirm flip, he waited for price to tap to 618, price took him out, and then obviously price had now dumped. So again, like there are ways that this could have been avoided. Is it the worst trade in the world? Absolutely not. Again, this would have worked potentially on another day. So these are some of the things you're gonna have to face, especially when you are looking to take trades just based off the 618, and obviously 618 entry. So on the 5 minute, price was bullish, and then obviously you can see that price flipped, gave him confirmed flip. So now he's looking for shorts. So I went on the 1 minute, waited again for price to flip, and it did. I traded according to my plan, so not a bad trade. So again, he was essentially saying that he followed his plan. Price didn't work out the way he intended to be, got stopped out, but essentially, everything I was looking for happened, just he got stopped out. So this was the MSB that he had, and then this was the market structure shift, and then this was the confirmed flip that he had. So essentially, he's now gone down to the lower time frame, and then on the lower time frame, if I'm correct, he waited for a confirmed flip or a internal flip, which was from this area here. He waited for price to pull back, tap the 618, and obviously he's been stopped out. So now let's navigate that. So okay, so in terms of everything leading to that point, everything was correct. In terms of we are trading from this high, and we are trading from at the time this low, yeah, before the MSB. So we can see how price was in a pullback here, and then price internally also took out this low here, and then obviously you can see that price pulled back, tapped into this area of supply and demand, and then price gave us a new lower low. So this is the first mistake that he done. So the first mistake that he had done was, once we had this flip, as you guys can see here, which is nothing, which there's nothing wrong with, it's just an internal flip. So once we had this flip internally, because remember, internally we took out this high, we failed to make a new higher high. Internally we took out the protected low. Internally we pulled back internally, and internally we took out the lower low. However, you can see externally we had taken out our low, our previous lower low. Does that make sense? So if I was to mark this out, so we had a lower high, lower, so this was the lower low that we had taken out, and obviously we come from this lower high, yeah, and then obviously we made a lower high, and now we've made a new lower low. So he got caught up on the 1 minute time frame. All he had to do was just zoom out, wait for that MSB. You guys can see for yourself externally. Let's let that close. Is that close? Yep. So look, now we have actually candle closed below that low. So now essentially we are trading from, if that's a valid, yeah, so now essentially we are trading from this high now to currently this is the low, because I don't know if price is going to continue lower or continue higher. So we are trading from this area here, where this is my MSB. So now I can expect some sort of pullback, price to tap into something, and obviously continue lower. So in this case here, where is my area of supply and demand? So this is my last up down movement. as you guys can see here. This is my last up down movement, so this is my area of supply and demand, the SNDR, what's it called, which is responsible for this market structure break. And if I just let price play out, so we tap into my SNDR, and within this now I can start looking for a trade, yes, but remember I am on my 1 minute time frame, so I need to see a change in order flow. So whether that's on the 15 second, whether it's on the 5 minute, you can see on the 5 second we're making higher highs and higher lows. We'll continue to make higher highs and higher lows. We are above the SMA, and now we've just gotten below the SMA. Again, depends on what time frame you're using. On our 1 minute, this is what price looks like. You can see how price violated the SNDR, and what's happened now. Let's come back to tap into the move origin. I mean, it has already kind of been mitigated, so I mean it's very subjective, but we've come back into the area with the origin, which is the strongest part. And I mean, you can say that we have SBS origin where this is the 1, this is the 2, this is the 3, this is the 4, this is the 5, but we are above the SMA, so you don't have been able to take a trade. Then, based on the 1 minute time frame, on our 15 second chart, I mean, technically, you wouldn't have been able to take a trade. I mean, you could, based on structure, yes, you could have, on the 15 second chart, because you could say that, look, we made a low, high, low, high, low, high, low, higher high, failed to make a new higher high, took out this low. So that's your first internal break, but that internal break is a lower time frame actual break. So in that case, that came from here, but we can see that price is above our SMA still, but we can see how price is taking out lows. Price is taking out lows. We let price play out. Let me just use the 15 second. You let price play out. Price taps into this area here, and now we've taken out this low. So now I know that this will be the better low for me to look for a trade. And you can see how price tapped this area of supply and demand, and then price has moved lower. So again, if I go to my 5 second chart, do we have SBS? Yes. Is it the best one? Not really, but that could be my 1, that could be my 2, that could be my 3, 4, 5. Price moves lower, doesn't take out the low, come back. That could be now your 4, and this could now be your 5. I mean, if you are being very, very cautious, then price took out this low, price took out this high, then price took out this low here, then price pulled back and also took out this low. So, you know, this is an area where price should want to bounce from. We can see we're below the SMAs. Price gave us a lovely reaction, and obviously you can see that price continued lower. Again, you had a trendline break, you see we had a retest, price shot lower. So there are ways in which you could have taken a trade based off your low time frame. Again, let's say you don't have access to the second chart. Look how price looks like on the 15 second chart. Perfect. You don't have access to the 15 second chart, no problem. But you can see how, if I just go back to his chart, he got off. So you can see how, look, price externally took out our low. Externally we was pulling back, and then price dumped. He used the internal structure, not understanding that the external structure got taken. So as I said before, if we go to our 5 minute time frame, you can see externally, look, price took out the low. You see, we were just in a pullback phase. He got caught up on the lower time frame, and then we can see here, look, we made a new lower high followed by a new lower low. You guys can see that for yourself. And then let's say you wasn't happy with that. Like I said, you just have to wait for price to get below the SMA. So as I said before, what have we been doing? We made a low, we made a high, we made a low, we made a high. So internally, that's a flip. If you understand that and you understand how price works, you understand that that's a flip, you know. And what's happened now? Price had pulled back, tapped into an area of supply and demand, as you guys can see here. This is a wick fractal here. Tapped into that area of supply and demand, and then price continued lower. Guys, I don't make the rules again here. You can see it on a 1 minute time frame. This is a wick fractal. And what happened? We tapped into that wick fractal while below the SMAs. Go to our second chart. It's an area of supply and demand, guys. You know, so this is how this trade could have been avoided, understanding where you are within price. And you know, he did use the 618, so technically we took out this low, so this low to high. You would have been in a lot of drawdown, but at the end of the day, price delivers. So that's how he could have, you know, stopped himself from getting caught out. So just to go over it one more time, you know, he had this area marked out as the flip, not understanding that price had taken out the external low. Does it make sense? So technically, this is my protected high. This area here is not my protected high because we took out the external low. You see that? And all price wanted to do was just tap into this. I wouldn't say unmitigated, but tapped into this move origin. And what's happened now? Price has dumped. Yes, we're above the SMA, so would have been able to take a trade based off that? Absolutely not. Hence why I said, we can see for ourselves, what has price been doing? Price made a low, price made a high, price made a low, price made a high. Price took out this low. And then what's happened? Once price has taken out that low, internally, we pulled back, tapped into an area of interest, area of supply and demand. You're not happy with that? What's happened now? You had the confirmed one. Price tapped into this big fractal here. And what's happened? Price has continued lower. We are below the SMAs. You see that? So, you know, you save yourself so much hassle when you have structure on your side and you actually look for areas of supply and demand. You know, this is a wick fractal. A wick fractal, what is it? What is it? It's an area of supply and demand. Go to our low time frame, you can see that for yourself. It's an area of supply and demand where price tapped into and it continued lower. So that's how this trade could have been avoided. Just understanding where you are within price externally and internally. But that's it for me today. Always remember that victory belongs to the most tenacious. And wherever you're in the world, I'm wishing you guys a good morning, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night. And I'll see you whenever I see you lots in it. Love my people. Ciao.